Let's talk Aaron Rodgers, the number one story in the NFL. I know it is boring. I know it is frustrating for many, but there are some intriguing updates that I need to clarify as well. So, the report from Jeremy Fowler, and this got spun up by Bleacher Report, was there's no market for an Aaron Rodgers trade, which normally when we hear no market, that means nobody wants him. That's not what Jeremy Fowler said. There are several teams interested, several teams monitoring Aaron Rodgers, including the Denver Broncos. More on them in a second. But the Packers are telling teams, hey, we're not going to trade Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he may or may not show up for camp, but he's our guy. We're not trading him. And because of that, that's why there's no market. Not because teams don't want him, as Bleacher Report implied, but because the Packers don't want to trade him right now. Here's what else Fowler said on ESPN about the Broncos, specifically here as it relates to Aaron Rodgers. Quote, I'm told that from the Broncos' perspective that yes, they are monitoring Rodgers and whatever situation might be out there with quarterbacks, but they like their current setup. They like Drew Lock. I believe he's a different guy this year with his work ethic. And they like Teddy Bridgewater. They believe he can win games too. They'll look into Rodgers if he's available. He's not. So they're certainly not going to overreact right now. I think for Denver, and this is what Fowler's kind of saying here, it's Rodgers or the guys on the roster. Like, those are the options for Denver Broncos. Right now, Drew Lock is the incumbent. He's the favorite to win this job. He was, I don't know, better, the same, worse. Like, it's not much of a difference in terms of 2020 versus 2019. Denver had a good winning stretch when he was the starter in 2019, and that was a good thing for the Denver Broncos. But he hasn't shown consistency in terms of being a franchise guy. Teddy Bridgewater, meanwhile, is at least a top-end backup. Like, that's what he is, more or less. I think in terms of reliability, stability, consistency, Bridgewater might be better in that area from Lock, but the upside is also probably a little bit more capped. Of course, if Denver could get Aaron Rodgers, then they're set. Like, he's their franchise guy for at least a couple years. Yes, he's old, but they'd be going all in and trying to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, which I think certainly makes sense. So what do you guys think? What is the percent chance the Packers actually end up trading away Aaron Rodgers? Get your votes in for me in the comment section. The percent chance Green Bay ends up trading away Aaron Rodgers. We do have some updated odds for you guys, by the way, for Aaron Rodgers' Week 1 team. The Green Bay Packers, to the surprise of nobody, is the heavy favorite. Then it's the Denver Broncos. Then the Las Vegas Raiders. The Miami Dolphins next up. And then the Saints/Washington football team, both of them plus 1,100. Of the teams on this list, I still believe the Denver Broncos make the most sense. It's somewhat West Coast. Not that that really is West Coast, but it's more West than Green Bay is. They need a quarterback. The rest of the roster is certainly there. So I think if the Packers end up trading away Aaron Rodgers, which is not a guarantee, there is the possibility that they don't do it and they go in a different direction altogether, that they choose to keep the Packers choose to keep Aaron Rodgers. I think the reality is that Denver, simply put, makes the most sense for Aaron Rodgers. So it's not a guarantee that he gets traded, but I do think Denver makes the most sense for Rodgers. Excuse me. There's a trade rumor out there I at least wanted to discuss on today's video. That is around the Denver Broncos moving cornerback Duke Dawson. Floated out there by USA Today, the Broncos Wire version, to be specific, of that subsite. Now, on one end, this makes some sense, right? A lot of cornerback depth, I get that there. And Dawson is a former second-round pick. In theory, there's some value, but especially coming off the knee injury he suffered late last year, I don't agree with USA Today saying the Broncos would be able to find a trade. Here's what they wrote, or a trade partner, excuse me. Here's what they wrote. Quote, Dawson is a former second-round pick, and he's been serviceable when healthy for the Broncos. Denver traded a 6th-round pick to New England in 2019 in exchange for Dawson and a 7th-round pick. With so much depth at corner, the Broncos might now consider trading Dawson to another team for a late-round pick. In theory, I love this idea. He's probably not going to make your roster. You got plenty of cornerback depth. You trade him away and get an asset. But Dawson already got moved once for the latest pick swap almost possible. A 6th and a 7th were swapped for Dawson. That's not good value. Denver doesn't need Dawson. Teams know that. There's a real chance he's going to be cut. Because is Dawson going to make this team? If healthy, I kind of lean towards no. You got Fuller, Surtain, Darby, Callahan. It's the best 1, 2, 3, 4 combo in the NFL at corner. Michael Ojemudia, earlier round pick than Dawson. He's better outside corner value. Nate Hairston, heck, Asang Basie, Kerry Vincent. Vincent was a draft pick this year. There's too much depth at corner. So I like the idea of Denver trying to trade somebody. That is perfectly rational. It's a good idea. And I think they would try to trade Duke Dawson. I just don't think there's going to be a ton of market for the former Florida corner. In 26 career games, now, Dawson has not played that much. He has been nothing special. He hasn't been a disaster, but he also hasn't been able to get there on the field. He's only played sparingly. He's not ever lived up to the draft type around him. So I get the idea of trying to trade away someone like Duke Dawson. I don't know who wants this, though. Outside of where he was drafted, there's not much to go, yes, this is why Duke Dawson is worthy of even a 7th-round pick. Now, if he gets cut, I think there will be some interest, but it might be more practice squad interest. Yeah, a team like the Jets, for example, might have 0 good corners. I don't think Dawson's that guy either, though. I don't think the Denver Broncos, I'll hopefully be wrong on this, are going to find any real trade market for Duke Dawson. So what do you think? Should the Broncos trade him away? Get your votes in for me right now in the comment section. Type Y for yes or type in N for no. Do you believe the Denver Broncos should trade away Duke Dawson? In the end, as I've said, I think they'll try. I don't think they'll find a partner. I think it's much more likely Dawson ends up getting cut. In fact, Denver, if you want to trade away a good corner and get something decent back in return, the name that actually might make the most sense from a trade value perspective is Michael Ojemudia. If you're going to keep Fuller and Darby and Surtain, I think Ojemudia is an outside corner. All of a sudden, how does he get on the field? Now, depth matters. I'm down to keep him, but that name might be more tradable than Duke Dawson.